So if you're on Ozempic, Wegovy, or Zepbound, and you're not actively changing how you eat, how you move, and how your body deals with things, you're not healing, you're just shrinking. And worse, you could be becoming something I like to call skinny fat, which is where you're losing muscle, slowing your metabolism, and maybe even gaining fat during the process, even though the scale is coming down. It's something that happens often as we get older. And actually, the scientific term for losing this kind of muscle mass is sarcopenia, and it's the worst thing that can happen to your metabolism. So this episode, if you haven't heard it already, is your wake-up call. And I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to tell you what most doctors don't. GLPs can absolutely help you reverse your insulin resistance and lose weight, and can be a great tool, but only if you use them right. So let me show you how to stop wasting your money and this opportunity that can actually transform your metabolism from the inside out. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Diabesity Fix. I'm Dr. Yaz, your board-certified endocrinologist, obesity specialist, and certified health coach, and someone who's actually dealt with diabetes myself. So let's get straight to it. GLP-1 meds like Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, Mounjaro, they work, but 90% of people are not using them to their full potential. So today, I'm going to give you more clinical strategy to avoid muscle loss, preserve your metabolism, reverse insulin resistance while on these drugs, and moreover, not plateau and stop losing weight if that's what you're looking for. So number one, you got to build and protect your muscle, or weight regain on the drug is inevitable. See, muscle isn't just about aesthetics, it's metabolic gold. Skeletal muscle in particular is where your body stores and burns most of the glucose from your meals, and it's where insulin does its best work. So when you have more muscle, your body handles carbs better, even without a perfect diet. But here's the catch. GLPs reduce your appetite, and unless you're very intentional, you'll eat too little to support your muscle. All right. So in the step 1 trial published in the New England Journal of Medicine, participants lost a significant amount of weight on semaglutide, and nearly 39% of that loss was lean mass. Now, that's not weight loss, that's metabolic erosion. And muscle loss isn't neutral. It makes your metabolism more fragile and your insulin sensitivity worse, and long-term weight loss harder. So, however, this can totally be avoided. I've had patients on this drug who actually gain muscle in the process, okay? So there's different stats, there's different studies out how much weight loss and lean mass loss with Mounjaro versus Ozempic, and that can be a whole discussion in and of itself. But literally, studies looking at one of the biggest weight loss drugs, Zepbound, out, shows that patients are losing on average about 30% of their body fat compared to only 10%, 10.9% of their lean mass loss. So the reality is that these studies will be coming from everywhere, but I promise you, it's how you're doing it that's affecting the results, okay? So here's what you gotta do. I want you to lift even if it's your body weight, right? Or with bands or with soup cans if you don't have weights. I want you to do resistance training 2 to 3 times a week, focusing on full body movements. I'm prioritizing progressive resistance over cardio marathons. I tell my patients, yes, you exercise and you burn calories, but you're working out to build muscle. You're training to make your insulin work even better for you, okay? So very necessary, very important. 2, protein is a prescription, not a preference. One of the biggest mistakes I see is that people on GLP-1s think that means, they're eating less and that the shot is working. But if you're eating less and not prioritizing protein, you're torching your muscle tissue and lowering your basal metabolic rate. And I have a whole episode on basal metabolic rate, so definitely check it out, i.e. how to naturally boost your metabolism. So check that out. But I want you to think of protein like scaffolding. Without it, your metabolic structure collapses. I would aim for at least, 30 grams of protein a meal, maybe even 40 grams a meal. Think 90 to 130, 140 grams of protein for most adults. And no, a piece of toast with peanut butter doesn't count. No, your beans are not enough. I'm talking, I want diesel, I want fuel, I want meat or a protein replacement or tofu, something like real protein, okay? So let me give you an example of what high protein or a better protein diet looks like. Think breakfast, 2 eggs, protein shake, that's 40 grams. Lunch, grilled chicken salad and pumpkin seeds, 35 grams. Dinner, salmon, roasted Brussels sprouts, that's 40. Snack, Greek yogurt or clean protein bar, 20 grams. So just to give you an idea, very easy to do, but you just have to plan it, and you can't just eat pasta and add some beans and think that's going to be protein based, or your peanut butter is going to cover you. No, no, no. Now, Protein, it protects the muscle, balances blood sugar, fuels detox, and keeps you full. It's your anchor. And on a GLP-1, it's non-negotiable. All right, tip number 3. You can't medicate your way out of emotional eating. Let's be honest, overeating isn't always about hunger. It's about stress, trauma, childhood patterns, cravings, and GLPs may mute hunger cues, but they don't heal your nervous system. And I will tell you, when someone's on Wegovy or Zepbound, Mounjaro, or Ozempic after a year and a half, they can easily out-eat the drug, meaning they've titrated all the way up to the highest dose, and they can force their stomach to expand again, just like people have done with the gastric sleeve and gastric bypass surgeries. So you have to take care of this issue if you're going to be on this drug. I've had patients on Wegovy who weren't hungry at all, but still found themselves eating in front of the fridge at night. Why? Habit loops, dopamine patterns, neural wiring. Studies using brain imaging shows that emotional eaters activate the same reward center as people with substance addictions. That's not weak willpower, it's just your biology. But how do we change that? Well, step 1, learn to pause. When you feel the urge to eat, stop and ask, am I physically hungry, right? In the stomach, right? You've already drank water, so you're not thirsty, right? And you're literally listening. Am I growling? Am I hungry? Or am I avoiding a feeling? Step 2, build a 5-minute ritual or routine like walking, breath work, or journaling, right, into your day, because the goal is not to suppress the craving, right? It's to interrupt the loop when you know you're just not hungry and you're doing this out of habit, something that just makes you feel good at the end of the day. Step 3, start tracking your hunger and fullness cues. I like using a scale. So 0 to 10 scale, 0, you're famished, 10, you're painfully full, like Thanksgiving dinner, and I want you to eat at 3, stop at 6 or 7, okay? This GLPs give you the space to relearn intuitive eating because you're not so famished. So you have time to think, you have time to connect that gut-brain connection. But you have to put in the reps like anything else. You have to do the reps. And this is where food freedom really starts with the drug. All right, so to summarize your strategy and recap, here's what no one's telling you. GLPs, they are amazing, but they're not a complete fix. They are kind of like this amazing tool. And if you use them well, you can create lasting change. It's like this. If you play golf and you have the best driver, it doesn't matter. If you don't do the reps, you don't do the practice, you don't do the things, you will suck, right? Your numbers will keep going up on the golf course. The same way your numbers on the scale will go up and you'll regain the weight if you don't eat well and make lasting change. All right. More often than not, I see if someone isn't intentionally being a certain way with their diet, they're going to regain the weight or plateau and then give up. So remember, the top 3 things. 1, preserve the muscle. Strength is your glucose disposal unit. You need to lift. You need resistance training. That's number 1. 2, you need to eat your protein daily. Will protect your metabolism and give your muscle what it needs to fuel. 3, you have to rewire emotional eating. This is your chance to reset the brain and address the root cause of why you got here in the first place, okay? So it's not just weight loss strategy, it's your metabolic comeback. So if you need support doing this the right way, without guessing, that's why I created my Diabesity app. And inside, you'll get my exact meal plans, protein guides, lab protocols for insulin resistance, beginner to advanced insulin resistance plan, and functional medicine support with coaching, with weekly check-ins, real-time answers. No shame, no fluff, just step-by-step to reverse your insulin resistance and transform your metabolism for real this time. So if this resonated with you, share this with someone who's stuck on the shot and not losing weight, or someone who's afraid to get started on this journey without the right guidance, because you deserve better. You're not broken. You're just missing a strategy that works. I'll see you in the next episode.